One, I see everyone still logging in. Thank you so much for your patience. I know we're starting a little bit late, but thank you. Let's see. Okay, we have a couple of more people that are joining. Super excited to have everyone here today. All right, let's see. We have a couple of more folks that are here, and we'll go ahead and get started. So hello, everyone. If you've never met me before, my name is Lonnie Woods III, and I'm the Assistant Director of Career Connections and Development here at Cal Arts. And I'm super excited here to have two Disney recruiters, Kathy and Carol, joining us today to really talk about the Disney College programs, as well as any other questions that you have as you're thinking about starting a career at Disney in any type of way. So super excited to get this started. I just asked for housekeeping. If you could just keep yourself muted while the presentation is going on. This session will be recorded, so please accept on your end, and it'll be available on our YouTube a couple of days out. I'm going to pass it over to Kathy and Carol to introduce themselves and go ahead and get started.
All right, fantastic. Well, it's a pleasure to meet all of you. Thank you very much for joining us today. We're super excited to be able to share with you about our internship program and our college program, two different opportunities here at Disney. I'll start by introducing myself. I'm Kathy Francois Stevens. I'm a senior recruiter with the Walt Disney Company. I have been with the company for a total of 21 years, so a long time. 4 years as a store manager for the Disney stores, and then 17 years in my current role here in internships and programs. I have recruited for various opportunities throughout our parks and resorts, and I currently am within the Disney General Entertainment branch of our company and doing recruitment for communications, public relations, and also marketing. But I've recruited previously for the Aulani Resort, Parks and Resorts, doing mass hourly hiring. So I can generally answer a lot of your questions when we get to that component at the very end. But we're just super excited to be able to meet you all today. At the end, when we are going to be doing our Q&A section, we would love to be able to see your faces. So if you can come on camera after we do our presentation, and when you do ask your question, just be on screen, that would be fantastic. We do like that visual interaction. And I'll turn it over to Carol for her introduction.
Thank you, everyone. Hi, everyone. My name is Carol, and I'm a recruiter with Disney Campus Recruitment, like Kathy. I haven't been with the company as long. I have been with the company for 1 year, and I currently recruit for production internships for Disney General Entertainment and the Walt Disney Studios. But super excited to chat with you guys today.
All right, fantastic. I am going to share my screen. Give me just a moment. Sorry for the delay. Bear with me here. All right, let me know if you can see the castle. Are you able to see the castle?
Looks good, Kathy.
All right, thanks, Carol. All right, fantastic.
So the mission of the Walt Disney Company is to entertain, inform, and inspire people around the globe through the power of unparalleled storytelling, reflecting the iconic brands, creative minds, and innovative technologies that make ours the world's premier entertainment company. All good. Right here on the right, you'll see the Walt Disney Company water tower in Burbank, California. It's at the Walt Disney Studios. If you could also kind of look to your left, that's where the 7 dwarves are holding up our building known as the Team Disney Building, which is where our CEO, Bob Iger, sits. So if you see him, make sure you say hi.
And many of you probably have seen, since you're in California, that Disney is celebrating its 100 years. And in order for us to launch ourselves into the next 100 years, our company has kind of brought everyone together in the executive branch to try to think about ways to launch and to facilitate our growth for the next 100 years. So they have come up with 3 strategic pillars that kind of are at the core of what made us so popular and so strong for the last 100 years, and what will help us to move forward for the next 100 years. So there really is a focus on storytelling excellence. As you can all probably relate, there's lots of different movies and shows that you have watched as a family or with your friends that have just really created those memories. And we really find that being able to inspire and give hope and bring people together will help us to launch and create a higher bar for us in the next 100 years of the different content that we're going to be putting out to our guests. Another strategic pillar is innovation. If you've ever visited our parks and our resorts and we're able to ride. I know in Florida, a lot of people have been very passionate about the Flights of Passage, which is a whole new ride mechanic that was created specifically for our Flights of Passage Pandora attraction. And in California, Mickey's Runaway Railway, which will be opening soon.
Oh, it's already open, Kathy.
Is it open? Okay,
Yes.
Did you get to go on it this past weekend?
No, I couldn't book the virtual queue. My fingers were not fast enough.
There you go. In Florida, it is open. California, I know it is not, or it wasn't at the time. So now it is open. But the technology that is used to bring those storytelling aspects to life are things that are at a cornerstone for our company. We really look to be innovative and seek ways to bring those stories to life, particularly the way they can enhance our franchise ecosystem. So being able to go to a movie and see one of our shows or movies, and then being able to experience it at a park or a resort is very important for our key business. And then obviously there's a relentless focus on our audience. It's about exceeding your expectations, bringing quality content, bringing quality experiences throughout your entire time with us, whether it's on a cruise ship, at the parks, going to a store and picking up a merchandise like a Mickey plush. Having that ability to connect in all aspects is very important for our business. So these are the three strategic pillars that we're going to focus on for the next 100 years to create magic and remain a resilient company.
So then within our large enterprise company, there are multiple businesses. So Disney Parks Experiences and Products, that would be our parks and consumer products, cruises, resorts, and then Disney Media and Entertainment Distribution, also known as DMED, that would be our tech and media entertainment, distribution and ad sales. Studios content, that would be Marvel 20th Century Studios, Disney Live Action, Walt Disney Pictures. And then general entertainment content, you may have heard of it from Kathy and I already, but this is where we support our DGE content. So that would be Hulu, ABC, streaming, Disney branded television, animation, Nat Geo. And then ESPN and sports content, that would be ESPN's live sports programming and scripted and non-scripted. Lastly, international content and operations. It's our international brand, content created for international market, but note that there are no international internship opportunities for this area.
And so that brings us to kind of share with you a little bit about what Lonnie had asked for us to be able to share, is about our two different programs that we have available for our students to be a part of our company. First off, I'll go over the Disney College program. This is what we considered to be three components of this program. There's the living, the learning, and the earning. These are paid internships for undergraduate and recent graduates, and it is not major specific. Now, for this position, you can be up to 6 months, 6 months post-grad in order to be eligible for this position. They are on specific terms. There's a 5 to 7 month opportunities. There's a spring advantage, fall, and fall advantage. Currently, we have applications open and live, and they are taking applications for the fall and fall advantage arrival. And what that means is fall advantage starts in May of 2023 and goes through January of 2024. Fall would start in August and go through January of 2024. So they're 5 to 7 months, depending upon the season that you select. All of these internships are located in Orlando, Florida. And we do have fabulous company sponsored housing and transportation that is available. If you want to jot down Flamingo Crossings Village, there is, you can just Google that, go into the YouTube video, and they have a wonderful walkthrough where you can see this amazing new housing that we have built for our college program students. Also, there is transportation that's included to and from your work location. There's a bus system, and it also does trips to like the local Walmart or Target for you to pick up groceries or whatever, even the local mall for shopping purposes. Now, this internship, the Disney College program, is considered more of our entry-level positions within the company. It's where you're going to be able to build transferable skills and take part in personal and career development classes like resume writing, networking. There's a history and heritage classes that are offered. Some really amazing leaders from across our company do help with the instruction for these classes. It is really just a nice way to expand your network and meet with leaders from across our businesses here in Orlando. Now, for the college program, there are several areas that you could be considered to work. Attractions, similar to like It's a Small World, or like I said, Flights of Passage at Pandora at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Quick service food and beverage, merchandise hostess and hosts, front desk, custodial, house person, and then in entertainment, you are able to apply to be a character performer, but it does require an audition, and auditions are held across the US and virtually. So more information on that, if you're interested in the character performer role, is available on our website. You can go to disneycollegeprogram.com to learn more about the Disney College program itself, and even it'll take you through the application process, which I said is again live at this point.
So for Disney internships, paid internships are for undergraduate and graduate students. It is major specific. Candidates are eligible to apply up to 6 months after graduation, and we have different opportunities for full-time and part-time. For our internship season, it is now, we are trying to move over to 2-track. Right now it's spring, summer, and summer/fall. Our internship opportunities can vary from 6 months or summer only, which is 3 months. For our internships, they have different ones that have communications, engineering, human resources, leadership and management, marketing, media, production, technology, sales, and more. And you can also visit our career site, which is disneyinterns.com, to learn more.
And as you can see from the little Mickey heads that are all across the United States, that truly is, there are internship opportunities all across the United States. As you can imagine, we are kind of moving more towards an in-person experience. There are opportunities, though, for some remote work in these professional internships. You'll have to, when you're looking online at disneyinterns.com, in the job description, it will share what the expectations are, whether it's on-site, hybrid, or remote, okay? And then we just wanted to share some information with you, especially for the Disney intern program. That is more resume review that we as recruiters do. The Disney College program, their application process is a little different, and I can go over that. But let me first cover the Disney interns and applying and sending in your resume to us. So obviously, your resume should always be an extension of yourself. Please showcase the value that you can bring to a potential employer. We see it is very important for you to be able to tailor your resume to the type of role which you are applying for. Some students have, especially since I recruit for communications, they have work experience, but they don't highlight their communication background or activities or clubs that they've been involved in where they've done communication work. It's really important to make sure that you highlight and showcase those skills that you're bringing. to the position, and you may need to create multiple versions so that it speaks to the position that you're applying for. So that's just something to be important, to remember is important. For many of my positions, because they are communications, they do want to be able to see how you write, public relations and things of that nature. So for my positions, it is important to include a cover letter, kind of highlighting what you could bring to the business and why you're interested in the role. Other positions, such as production for Carol, may not necessarily require or need one because the work is a little bit different. But if you have a great cover letter and you're able to tailor it, it is always nice to include. And that's, I think, recruiter specific preferences. Some things to think about, that this is a branding and marketing tool for yourself. So a powerful resume does give you an opportunity to put like that first best impression, because obviously we can't meet and greet with everyone that we want to interview. Your resume is really how you are able to share that great first impression. Some other things to think about when you're looking at the job description and looking at the things that you've done. Just make sure that you're updating your resume and keeping track of your current responsibilities and achievements. So that way, when you're looking at our job descriptions and what we're looking for as a good fit, you're able to check off as many boxes as possible. And lastly, it is always very important to proofread your resume. I'm sure Lonnie would be able to share with you from the Career Services Center. Typos really set you to the negative pile. So it's really important to make sure that you are reviewing, making sure there's no grammatical errors, and then have your resume reviewed. Go to the Career Service Center, have someone in the center review your resume, give you pointers, and set yourself up for success that way.
Oh, Kathy, I also just wanted to add on to
go
the
ahead.
last slide. For my roles that I recruit for animation roles and also production roles. Having a hyperlinked portfolio also helps because your hiring leaders could see the work that you've done. So make sure that you add that in as well.
Yep, good point too. And yes, for public relations, seeing your previous work, that is great. Thank you for reminding me of that.
And then lastly, a few tips would be visiting our intern career site. I know that it may be different for the college program, Kathy.
Well, the Disney interns, that you can search college and professional internships on there, and we'll show that after. We'll do a live demonstration after we're done here.
Of course. And then you could search open roles and set notification alerts for new postings, and make sure you follow us on your social media to watch our interns in action. So on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
And you are welcome to take a screenshot of this, or if you have your phone, take a photo of it so that way you can set it as a reminder later on. The notifications really are helpful as we are posting roles at various different times throughout the next coming months. That way you don't miss an opportunity that really speaks to your skill sets. So setting those notifications and alerts when a new position's posted for whatever role you might be interested in or area of study that you're currently doing, it really does then kind of put you at the forefront of being able to apply for those roles. So I'll leave that up for a second. You guys could go ahead and take a screenshot or snap a photo. We really do think that it helps to keep our students in the know by setting those notifications.
Of course, and then I also wanted to add one last thing that Kathy and I had talked about, but please make sure that when you do apply, only apply for the ones that you feel like you would be a strong fit for, that you feel like this is something that aligns with what you're really interested in. A lot of times we see interns or students that apply for anything possibly available on the career site.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it could do more harm than good, because then we don't really see like what you're really interested in. So please make sure that you only target roles that you're really interested in.
All right, I'm going to do the countdown, and then I will pull up the Disney career site for us so we can share some information on that. One moment. Sorry, my apologies. I had this queued and everything logged out from not being active. All righty. So this is our career site. And you can literally type in keyword searches. So you can do college program and hit search jobs, and information will populate. Sorry, it's taking a minute to think. So Disney College Program, the link comes here, but you'll see on the right side, there are filters. So you can filter for categories that you're interested in, regions, countries, and even the state that you're interested in working in. So it'll tell you how many positions are available. Obviously, job level is probably important for you guys being in college. You're going to look at internships and programs. If you select that, you will then be able to get your professional internships that are available. So you can see here all the positions that are currently available for an internship. And right now we have 5 pages worth and more to be posted as we are just starting into the process here. So there are multiple opportunities that you would be able to apply for based on your experiences here at the parks. And I would use this filter section really to kind of narrow down if there's something specific you're looking for, or feel free to page through the different internships that are on our career site. And with that, I'll stop sharing screens and then we can go to a Q&A and answer any questions that you guys might possibly have about our internships, the company. I'll try to answer, and Carol will try to answer as best as we can. Internship roles, things of that nature.
Absolutely. And if you'd like to type in the chat, go ahead. I will read those out loud. I think I see a raised hand. I'm not sure. You can go ahead and you can just ask the question, Ryan.
Sure. One question I have is about kind of the relationship between the internships and the kind of full-time careers. Do you find that most of the different avenues within some of the brands, I'm particularly thinking about Imagineering, but do you find that there are, like, let's say, very specific kinds of roles that offer internships and then some that don't, or whether it's kind of broadly speaking that the internships tend to touch on all the different avenues within one of the brands?
Yeah, our internships do touch all different aspects of our company. So Walt Disney Imagineering, actually, there are quite a few available online at this point, and they do anything from electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, right? We cover all bases. And those internships are in Florida and in California. So that is, helpful for you if you're looking to stay local or move into Florida. The housing would be available for those professional internships as well, so that you are allowed as a professional intern to live in our housing in Florida. California, we don't have housing. It's just, and most of you are local there anyway, so you probably don't need housing, or you could live at the university. But we do have, and we as recruiters, and Carol can speak to this too, we work with our interns. So we'll have mentor meetings with you throughout your duration of your time with us, 2 to 3 meetings that we spend talking about, who are you networking with? Who can we connect you with? And you'll be meeting with your leader, who also works as a mentor for you too, to set up those meet and greets. And then you physically working, you're coming in contact with other people throughout the company. So that is a networking opportunity. But as a program, we do have an early career recruiter who helps to, at the end of your program, you'll have filled out, we have a system where we're able to track our students to make sure that, hey, Ryan was a high performer, his leader supported him, they think that he's a fantastic candidate. We would like to, look for future opportunities when he's graduated, or, maybe even if you're graduated, how can we network you to a full-time job? Now, while we can't guarantee immediate placement, we really do work with our students because, right, we've spent so much time recruiting you. You've worked up with us for an internship for 5, 7, up to 1 year, you can be an intern. We don't want to lose that talent. So yes, we do try to help bridge internships, early careers, full-time opportunity. So that's the goal, but it's, obviously performance-based, and what roles are available. We always tell our interns, do great in the role you're in to get the next job.
Okay, we had a question.
Thank you.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
welcome.
I had a question in chat about international students. Is the Disney College program open to international students on student visas? It's a good question.
Yep. So internships, professional internships are eligible or are open for students that are on their visas. You would need to work with your international student office there to work on getting your OPT or your CPT card. That's, if you're currently in school or if you're going to be graduating, there's different designations for international students. But yes, they're eligible to apply. The future opportunities, branching to full-time careers, that's a little different. Those are things that you'd have to work on. We'd have to figure out visa statuses and that. But for the internships, we are absolutely open to students that are on OPTs or CPTs. And I'll speak to the college program. There's a little different nuance with the college program. We do have interns or college program students who do come from other countries to work at Epcot and various parts of Walt Disney World. And those students can be recruited internationally as well. So that's the only difference. College program has an international component that we don't have as a professional internship.
All right, there's a question from Marie. I was asking you, Marie, if you could type some more clarity about the second part. You said, how important is previous experience with the company when applying to come back after a few years? So I don't know if that means come back from where? Working at Disney or come back to school? Not quite sure about the last part. But in terms of
kind of like if you were sorry to interrupt, like if you worked like previous as like a character in the parks and things like that.
Would that be helpful to?
Yes.
Got it. Yes. So previous experience at Disney, is that helpful in terms of placement and internships, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, let's talk resume, right? So if you were in entertainment and you want to go back into entertainment or something entertainment related, absolutely, that experience is invaluable, right? You could be a stage manager, you could be a coordinator, right? So there are opportunities. As long as the work is relevant to the experience, for sure. Just because you have previous Disney experience, it doesn't mean automatically that you get in the next job. You have to have the qualifications, right? Because you are competing against others from across the country who have different skill sets. So yeah, like for my communications position, sure, it's great to see people who've done the college program, but I also need to see communications experiences, public relations experiences, things that make sense for my positions. But yes, the college program, yes, I would love to see that on your resume, but that's not the only thing that I want to see on the resume or previous experience. It has to be relatable for what you've been doing since you've left us. Does that make sense?
Oh, it does. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, Karina, you can go ahead and ask.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I just wanted to ask sort of a bit more about the process of the internship sort of application process. Like personally, I'm very interested in the soundtracks internship, which I realize it hasn't been posted yet, but I really, really hope it does. So I was just kind of curious of like the balance of like you guys talking about like the more professional side of the resume, but also like the media side. Like if I post like my music and my website and that kind of thing, like is there like two different people recruiting in that sense?
Carol, do you want to take that?
Oh, I don't really understand the question, sorry. Can you?
Oh no, I was just
clarify that?
wondering like sort of the process of that, of like, because we submit both sides of the resume and the cover letter, but also like I guess our reel, like our more like the creative side. So I'm kind of just a little curious of how that process is. Like, does it get passed from like one recruiter to another depending on whatever you guys are in charge of?
So if, for example, you're applying for your soundtrack internship, please correct me if I'm answering it, if I'm on the right track of answering it, but then you know how you were mentioning like your reels, I would recommend just putting that as like a hyperlink on your resume so that you could show like all the work that you've done for like soundtrack work. And then in terms of what you were mentioning, like, do we pass it on to different recruiters? I think it really depends on what you've applied for and like what you feel, what you are qualified for. So, for example, I have other interns that apply for like this type of internship, like production internships, but I also feel like they could be a really great fit for like a development internship. I would pass that on to a development recruiter on our team, which we would also be screening them at the same time. They could also be interviewing at the same time. So I think it just really depends on your experience and what you can bring to the internships.
But just to follow up and make sure you're clear. So if you apply to the soundtrack position, whoever the recruiter is for that position owns that role. They will look at your resume, they'll decide if you're a great fit for that role. And then either they'll look at your reel and say, oh, definitely cool. I'm going to move this on to the manager. The manager can look at your reel and say, yes, interview Karina, or let's get her in, right? So one recruiter owns the position itself. Like Carol was sharing, we do kibitz amongst each other. Like, gosh, I found Karina, she's amazing. I'd love to find an opportunity for her at this company. What can we do? I think she could fit for development. Maybe she doesn't have as much experience, but take a look. And so we do talk back and forth, especially for our, what we consider our hot top performers in resumes, or people that we'll hold on to, like, not this time, but maybe next semester, like whether it's not the right timing for you or the position's already been filled or they've canceled it or moved on with other opportunities. So we do make sure that we really keep up with our students who we really feel are our top performers. But one recruiter handles the bucket of work for soundtracks and whatever position. So if that helps you.
Yeah, that does. Thank you so much.
Any other questions?
Couple of questions in the chat. So we have one student who says, what kind of opportunities are available for art and animation students who are interested in working at Imagineering or the parks, as opposed to like working on, I guess, films, or, you know, they want to work at the parks, but they want to be in a maybe a more creative role. Does that exist?
Yeah, I get, well, and again, it depends upon what you're looking at doing. I think I saw one too for stage managing. Like, working at the parks is a little bit different. Most of those positions are frontline roles, right? So you're servicing the guests that are coming to our parks. So think operations. So like I said, the attractions, the food and beverage, the custodial, the merchandise, those are frontline operations. Now, are there Imagineering positions at the parks? Yes. What do those look like? You'll have to look online. Now, I'm talking internships. I'm not talking full-time recruitment. Mass hourly and professional recruitment are also available on that website. And if you have qualifications that meet that, you're more than welcome to apply for that. But for Imagineering and things of that nature, it is, you have to put a portfolio in and you'll have to have, you know, years of experience. So that's why the internships are great ways for you to kind of build, right, those networks, build those skills, those connections across the parks and within, you know, our corporate offices to set yourself up for the next step.
And I think the stage manager question was about Hong Kong. They're saying that they see a couple of options in Hong Kong, but I know that you told me before, Kathy, that students should be constantly checking the site, right? Like, it's not like I think one thing to know, y'all, about just what I've learned about Disney careers is that it's not necessary. There are distinct programs that are signature, but the positions, it's not like there's one communications intern. It all depends on the department. And so you, as the person who wants to apply, you have to check more often, because it's not like some departments have things that come up annually the same exact way. It's just like any job board. You just got to kind of be on it.
Right. Well, and two, just to make sure you're clear, like, we handle internship recruitment. I used to recruit for programs. I'm sharing the program information as a courtesy to Lonnie because he was interested in our other program as well. Our focus for Carol and I is internships. So we are hiring for those more major specific roles. Obviously, the college program, like I said, are those entry-level positions, but they're only in Florida for the parks and resorts. Now, international, if you want to go to Hong Kong, that is completely outside of my realm of experience. But what I can share with you is if you have the qualifications and you feel that you are able to apply for that position and you're going to be a good candidate, feel free to apply. Obviously, there's work visa statuses that would need to be involved. That's stuff that we don't deal with here in internships. But obviously, I would not discourage you from applying if you felt that you met the requirements. Then by all means, feel free to do that. I just don't have context for stage managers in Hong Kong because I don't work in that. I'm not professional recruitment, and I'm certainly not international professional recruitment.
Right. But generally jobs can it's like a rolling, right? Like you should check because
positions go up and down every single day. So new things are posted and things are taken down every single day. So the job board is definitely different every day. That's why we had mentioned if there's specific areas you're interested in, setting those alerts so that you can get notified when things get posted. Primarily, we're talking the internships because I'm talking to a college audience, but if there's full-time positions, you obviously can set job alerts for that as well.
Okay, we got a live question from Raven.
Yeah, this is a very specific question. I'm not sure if you can answer it, but as someone who would be applying to more creative internships, when I'm submitting a portfolio alongside my resume, would you prefer to look at a website format of a portfolio, or is that too much clicking around and you rather just prefer just a sheet of different image
No, I
examples?
prefer the website. I think Carol would agree with that. And if you're going to put a portfolio or a website or anything that requires a password, please include that on your resume as well. I can't tell you how many times we get things and we can't open it. We're like, you're a great candidate, but we can't see anything that you've done. So a website is better. Do not include 55 pages of PDFs. Oh, Lord, that's a lot for us to look at.
No.
Yeah. Make it a website and make it a password or make it open so that anyone can click on the link and log in. Anything else, Carol, that you want to add to that?
No, I also agree with the website. I feel like it also just looks much more cleaner because when we download your resume, the 55 pages will download as well. So website is always the best way to go.
This is a really great question that I think a lot of us think about. But after submitting applications, how do you feel about applicants reaching out directly to recruiters? Does that make a good impression or is that not appreciated?
Well, as you can imagine, and I'll give you an example. I have a Hulu public relations internship. I get over 1,500 applicants. If I got 1,500 emails, Kathy would never leave her office. So I think at this point, if your resume speaks to the qualifications and we feel you're a right fit, you'll eventually bubble to the top. But to send personal emails to a recruiter, I know I get I shouldn't say hounded. I get approached quite a bit on LinkedIn for, hey, I submitted this application and I don't even know who the student is. You have to be mindful, like if you have applied for the position and your skill sets are speaking to the role, then that should be sufficient. Carol, do you agree?
Yeah, I also agree. We, as Disney recruiters, I wasn't prepared for the high volume of messages and emails that I would get. So I think it's really important to really work on your resume. The keywords are super important. What you see on the job posting, those keywords that show up on your resume will also come up when we like search for resumes. So qualifications, internship, previous experiences are really important and will make you surface to the top.
Okay, any other questions for the Disney recruiters over here? Okay, I'm not seeing anyone.
Grace just raised her hand.
Oh, Grace, go ahead.
Hi guys. I just had a question. So as we're like looking into applying for some of these, I've noticed that a lot of them don't have like a when you will hear back date by. And so I was just wondering kind of roughly if you knew, obviously it depends position to position, but when students would be hearing back if they were to apply, how quickly that turnaround is usually.
You want to take that, Carol?
I think it really depends. It really, like Kathy, it really depends on how urgent this role is as well. I've had some roles where I've had it posted for 1 week. We had to screen them. We had to interview them like the next week. And then like we had to hire by like within a month. But then I think it just really depends, because there are some times where we do have the normal amount of time. So then it could take 2 months. It could take 3 months. Sometimes it could take 3 weeks. So I think it just depends on the urgency of the role. So I don't know about you, Kathy, you've been in more recruitment cycles than me. What do you think?
So I will say at the bottom of our job descriptions, there is a little paragraph that talks about the eligibility and what to expect, right? So it will tell you the generalized start date. So many of the positions that we're hiring and interviewing for right now, we're posting, will be arriving mid-May through the beginning of June. So as you can imagine, we're kind of on the hot seat right now, right? Trying to get people through the process. I have positions, I haven't even got to meet with the hiring managers yet. So, and they're supposed to come in May. So, you know, you can kind of get a generalized time frame by looking at the actual start date for the internship and the duration. So mid-May, we really need about 3-4 weeks for onboarding. So by mid-April, we should be done. So kind of in your mind, most companies are like that anyway. It takes a couple weeks to onboard. So from now till April is when you could hear from us. And I know that that's a tough, long time frame, but think about it. There's usually 1 to 2 interviews, possibly 3 interviews that you go through to be an intern or even a professional hire here at Disney. So the process isn't super fast always. Now, like to Carol speak, yeah, sometimes we have an urgent need. Somebody has turned over, we've hired somebody else, we need to backfill a position. Sure, we can make that happen in a week or 2, but the onboarding process takes some time. So long and short story, I would really kind of use that arrival time frame for our internships, at least, as an option for mass hourly or for our professional recruitment. That really, we could have positions open for 5-6 months sometimes too. So that really is kind of a challenge. But the thing is, you still got to keep applying. You still have to keep looking for a role. You know, keep checking on your resume. I know a lot of times it'll say, are you still interested in this role? There has been a text that goes out and you say yes, like you go back into the cycle and you wait, just because, you know, approvals get changed, you know, things happen in recruitment, people move on. So, you know, we have to just make sure that we're always kind of double checking that. Internships is more hard and stop fast dates, but regular professional recruitment, that's a little bit different.
Thank you so much.
Good question.
Something else that I've been doing that I wanted to talk to you, Kathy and Carol, about, do you ever get your opinion on? Because I see a lot of students who have very specific interest in very specific types of roles that may or may not exist. And this is just me as someone who's trying to I try to study things as if I don't know and I'm like a student. In my mind, there are so many opportunities, and Disney is such a big company that it would probably be a benefit of an applicant to have some flexibility around the types of opportunities. I was listening to the Life at Disney internship, and there are so many creatives who started off in the parks. So I don't think that it's like, I think you should try a lot of things if you love the brand, right? Mm-hmm. Now, if you just want to be a story animator and produce, and you want to just start doing that as an internship, that may be competitive. But if you truly love the brand, it seems like Disney appreciates people who love the whole brand, not just one thing. And tell me if I'm wrong, Kathy and Carol, but that's just how I felt just reading and looking, that you should be in love with the brand.
Mm-hmm. Well, as you could tell from how many years I've been with the company, almost 21 years, I love the brand. I love Disney. I don't want to be anywhere else. This is where I want to retire. I want to get my 35-year statue and be a happy camper into retirement. But yes, I mean, affiliation for the brand is important, but the big thing is that remember, no one's career line is straight. No one's trajectory is just a straight line. Sometimes and Carol, I don't know if you were able to meet George Kalogridis. He's one of our leaders here at Disney. And it's very interesting that he said, he's like, some of the most beneficial opportunities I've had have been the opportunities that I was the most uncomfortable taking, right? Because, he went to Paris to open Paris, and he's like, okay, I'll go. You know what I mean? So those are some things where you're like, oh, I don't want to do custodial. I don't want to be on the main street sweeping up, ice cream cones that spill. But, you meet so-and-so who is the hospitality manager, and then you move forward. So there are opportunities. It's about the connections you make too, but it's also about the experiences. You can either learn that I really like that experience and take away some things, and you can learn that you really didn't like something and take something away from that experience. So especially being early on in your career, it's probably good to kind of know there is no straight line in your path. There's always little side steps, and sometimes those side steps become career opportunities that you didn't even know existed. So.
Yeah, we have a question from Catherine about making changes. Once you submit something, is there any way, like an application, there's no way to go back and edit?
No, because you're submitting your legal information to our company. So that's why we say, take your time, do your resume properly, make sure there's no typos or any issues. When you're doing the online application, make sure you're taking your time, filling it out completely. So.
Absolutely. And the Center for Life and Work is here. We have a life and work advisor, Sarah. So if you are thinking of applying and making sure that your application, wherever, Disney or anywhere else, is up to par before you send it, you can always set an appointment, as many as you need, to kind of just go through proof and make sure it's in a good space.
Yep.
All right. I think that's the last question. I don't see any more raised hands.
No worries. I would love for you, whoever can, come on screen, because we do share this information with our greater recruitment team that we got to meet some fantastic students from CalArts. So we would love to get your fancy faces on camera so we can do a quick screenshot and you can all smile. Oh, I'm missing some people. Come on, we need more. I got a lot of black boxes. It will not look good for my leadership team if they say, where was everybody? So, and then it'll make me feel like you really enjoyed our conversation today. So seeing your faces. A few more people. We need like 3 or 4 more people to pop on camera. Is there anybody else that can pop up? No, come on. Don't be shy. I promise. Our leadership team loves seeing people. All right, well, we'll do that. Hold on. Will everybody look at the camera? I'm going to do a print screen. Can we all smile? 1, 2, 3. Thank you. I appreciate that. Our team will love to see your faces. And again, if you need anything, you guys are welcome, because there's 2 screens of you. You guys are welcome to reach out to us with questions. I would not hesitate to have any conversations with you guys if you have other things that we can help you out with. Lonnie, it's been a pleasure. If there's other things that we can help you out here, we would be glad to do that as well. Anything else, Carol?
No, I just wanted to thank you so much for this opportunity. It was really great chatting with everyone.
Thank you both for being here today, and thank you to all students who are here. We will add the recording to the Center for Life and Work YouTube. So if you missed it or you want to share it with a friend, let us know. Please keep up to date with everything that we're doing on our website. If you have questions, we also have lots of resources on the hub. Remember that if you're doing an internship for academic credit this semester, the deadline is February 1st for your contract and your new academic credit inquiry. So looking forward to seeing you all in future events. And thank you all for joining. I'm going to end the meeting now. Thanks, everyone.
Fantastic. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.